fear and how it attempts to stop you at reaching nirvana. Fear has been anthropomorphized dozens of times throughout the history of man. Gautama Buddha anthropomorphized fear and called her Demon Mara. In Western religious worldviews, we have anthropomorphized fear as Satan. In the Middle East, Shaitan, Baal, and so on and so on. And however, it's really the same. It's two things: fear and temptation. And whether or not you believe in the anthropomorphized version or the scientific version or whatever is really irrelevant. It's the same. However, for weird reasons which I do not entirely understand, every time a human being is on the brink of nirvana, fear freaking kicks in, man. I swear. You see the devil right in his eyes. And fear, will try to use every single possible means it has at its disposal to try to prevent you from disconnecting from the matrix, if you want to call it that. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Everything's an analogy at the end anyways, right? Because we observe the universe through our mind. The universe might just actually be one gigantic dream. We wouldn't know, because we aren't separate from it. So hence there's no way we can even prove whether or not this is dreaming, what I'm doing now, and my actual awakened state is when I'm sleeping in bed believing I'm dreaming. Right? Anyway, fear will always attempt to prevent you from reaching nirvana. And as it does, it is important that you never act from fear-motivated feelings or ideas or whatever. And that's probably why it is so difficult to reach. Because most people believe that, oh, if I had no fear, I would try to jump out of an airplane without a parachute. Most people wouldn't do that. I mean, whether or not you'd do that or not, I wouldn't know. Maybe you would. But I didn't. I mean, I did some really, really stupid things. Because I was no longer controlled by fear whatsoever. And fear possessed absolutely no control over me. But for some magical reasons I was always stopped. And I've never done extreme sports at all. I mean, I still feel uncomfortable climbing, even though I do not have fear the traditional way people perceive fears. I mean, for God's sake, I'm walking in a densely populated street speaking to my freaking iPhone. And I don't care. I mean, how much worse can it be? Now, as you stop thinking and you permanently reach enlightenment, though, a couple of really weird things happens. Buddhist calls this the Buddha roar, or the lion's roar, because as you have all these suppressed feelings inside of you, which most of you aren't even consciously aware of that you have, as the dam breaks, everything It comes like a, sorry, fucking avalanche. I mean, I would experience what I think Ramachandra refers to as the God syndrome or something. I think the technical term for it is temporal lobe seizure. It's a form of epilepsy, actually, where you see God. I would be riddled with these buggers several times a day for 2 years before they started calming down. And then you might ask if this is a commercial for enlightenment or if this is trying to scare you away from it. I don't know. Although I was born high functioning autistic, meaning I had probably suppressed much more of my feelings than most others. And the difference can be summed up with you are, and your thoughts and your mind is like the television set, non-stop, being turned on with noise. High-functioning autistic, Asperger, for him, his mind is like being stuck inside of a loudspeaker in a rock concert. So I had probably suppressed much more of my emotions than most of you guys have. So you probably won't have such a rough ride as I did. But do not be afraid. You see, at the end of the line, the only thing you're afraid of is yourself. You see, when Buddha had killed Demon Mara, then Demon Mara turned into a little boy, 3 years old, weeping and crying. And that little boy 100% accurately resembled Gautama Buddha himself as a boy. And that's the big joke. The only thing you're afraid of really at the end of the line is yourself. And then you project your fear onto outer things because you have a need to do so. But that doesn't make it real. That's just a part of the charade you're creating for yourself.